Puppy's excited. That's what puppies are. They are excited. Okay, so this gray shovel, I remember when that was new. I think that was bought, maybe, I think I was only about 5 years old when that shovel was bought for the family in Victoria, because me and my parents lived in Victoria, and then we moved up to the farm about 6 or 7 years ago. But it's funny, I remember when that shovel was brand new. I shouldn't have filmed this in time-lapse. Okay, so here I am with the shovel. See, I'm grinding down the end of the rivet, and then I use a punch and a hammer to get that rivet out of the handle. Then I flip it over, get a big punch down the bottom hole, and punch out the old handle. And usually that's pretty easy, depending on the shovel. Okay, so here is how to fix a shovel like this. So I already gotten the old wooden part out that was broken, hammered out the rivet that was in there. And so this video is going to be how to fix them to make them work. This isn't going to be the original way to fix them, but this is the easy way. So I have a collection of handles over here. Okay, so this handle here, I like this handle. This is about the right length for a garden spade. So I'm going to take this end off. That bolt broke, but that's an old bolt. That doesn't matter. I have lots of new ones. It's nice when they're bolted together, because look at how easy that was to take off. The original design is harder to replace. When you use bolts, they're easier to fix too. So you basically take off whatever old end is on the handle. You know, it's usually different for every tool you fix, but this is kind of the general. And I'm going to save this because this spade, actually, this is the handle for it. And actually, someone's welded it already, so I'm going to weld that again and put some support and fix that. And now this spade, see if this handle fits in there okay. So now I can see the wood is stopping about where my thumb is. So that's in there far enough, I guess. I mean, you could file it down or something to make it fit in there a little better, but that's strong. I can see actually the wood goes up to here, so that's handles in there good. Doesn't look like it, but it's in there good enough. So now we drill a hole there. And another thing, you want to use smaller bolts. Whatever size these are, they fit in that hole. That's usually a good size, because if they're too big, then they'll weaken the bigger the hole, the weaker the wood becomes. So, I mean, you could even use smaller bolts in this, but I think this is a decent size. So now we just drill that. And this shovel is a rather easy one to fix. You don't have to drill through the metal, but usually what you'd want to do is get a punch like this. If it was a shovel that didn't have a hole, then you'd get a punch, hammer a punch, and then you drill your hole through the metal and through the handle. In this case, it's just the handle. And you want to make sure you're kind of line it so it's rather straight going through this wood. Or I guess, if you were doing the metal, in this case, you just, well, the same thing, you just kind of make it straight because you want to get this through the existing hole. I really like this drill. This is a really nice drill because it's got a slow voltage controller, nice and slow. Got reverse. This is a pretty old drill. This is a nice old Craftsman. It's nice and small too. Not too heavy. This is a nice drill. I think that drill is probably 20 or 30 years old. And I'm not worried about clamping the handle and making marks on it because this shovel is being fixed to make it work, not to make it look nice. But there is a way to fix them to make them look nice. But these shovels are tools. Tools are meant for getting the job done. But there are ways to make them, to do it the proper way. If you were like restoring an antique shovel and you wanted it to look good, then you'd want to do this the proper way. But the way I do it is just so it's fast and easy, and so that it's easy to fix in the future. And you don't need a washer there if the hole is the right size. Or I put a lock washer on this. A lock nut works too, but I find it's better luck with just the regular nut and the lock washer. Because here I have a bunch of extra thread. Put that on there. Obviously you don't need electric tools for this, but they're easier. And I usually tighten it until the sides of the shovel just compress just a little tiny bit. Just compress a little bit, and then that's how I know that's tight. That's pretty good. And then you get an angle grinder and cut this off. If you let's say you didn't have any power tools in your shop, you could do this with a bolt cutter, but I like to do it with the angle grinder. Like you could cut that with a bolt cutter and then get a file. Just file that, but in my case it's quicker to cut that with the angle grinder and then you can polish it a bit and so that it doesn't have any sharp edges. And that's fixed. Just like that. That's a pretty easy way to fix a shovel. Okay, so here's our handle collection, and so basically I'll show you how to find a handle that fits. And I'm not a shovel expert, but I do have pretty good experience with fixing these. So, say a bigger shovel like this, you'd want to look for a thicker handle. Whatever fits in there, good enough. This handle here, it's broken a bit there, but that'll still be strong. This handle's hardwood too. See how it's a little bit big. Now this is not technically a shovel handle, this is a dowel or something. This one almost fits in there. I could hammer that and it would go good. And this one It looks like it fits, but you know, if you could use it, but you see there's play in there. So that's not what you want. This one almost fits. Actually, this one's not bad. I like this one. It's already, you know, about the right length. And, you know, I just kind of wedged it in there a bit. And that's good. I think that's a decent handle. There's no play. You know, there's hardly anything at all. So this here, I think it's a good handle for this shovel. You can see that's how much wood. Maybe it should be a bit more wood, but it's not bad. Yeah, I think this handle will be okay, even though it's a bit long. You can always cut that, but this one has a better potential for fitting in there properly. Because the end is already tapered. You see, that goes, the wood goes in all the way. Make sure this is straight with the shovel and before you drill the hole. And drill the hole. But it does the job. Got a bolt. Yeah, that's a little longer. That's fine. Here's the hammer I fixed. I made this handle from scratch, and that actually worked really well. The regular type, and then I just have a lock washer. It's a washer with a slit in it, and the two sides are kind of bent a little. I think these are generally cheaper than normal lock nuts too. And sometimes they work better. Like if you have a longer thread like this, then the lock of the lock nut isn't engaging the whole way. So basically when I tighten that, the sides kind of squish together, and I can see when they're starting to squish against the wood, then that's when I stop tightening it. And that's a good tightness, I think. And this whole job is possible to do with nothing but hand tools, so if your power went out or something, you know, just the electric tools are faster. And now that's polished down, so there's no like nicks or cuts anywhere that could cut people. Yeah, I like fixing these shovels. Now, as long as you can get the old wooden parts out that broke off, as long as you can get that part out, shovels are actually pretty fun to fix. No, they're usually pretty easy the way I put the bolt in there. There's no play in that at all, hardly. Now this handle is a slightly weaker wood. This might not last forever. This one will probably break in the future, but you know, even if this handle does break in the future, it is pretty easy to fix it. So basically you get a punch. Well, first of all, you take your bolt out, get a punch out the old piece of shovel, put your new handle in, drill the hole through the wood of the handle, and put the bolt in, and it's fixed. So that's an easy way to fix shovels. And the handle on there, this is from a snow shovel. I save all the handles from all the old shovels. And this is flat with the blade, but now it makes it, you know, easy to to dig with in the snow. And now you can still kind of push it in too. Now you have a bit more leverage with snow stuff. So this shovel is fixed, and I hope this video helps some people learn how to fix shovels. Okay, so you can see I was welding, or not quite yet, but I was welding without a mask on. And the reason that is because I made a bunch of spot welds, and I couldn't, I had to hold it with one hand. And the mask I'm using is an arc welding mask. It's not an auto darkening, so I had to just close my eyes when I baked the tack weld. And that's why you see me not wearing a mask, because it would have been impossible to make a bunch of tack welds with the, flip the thing, the arc welding shield of the mask up and down. Here's all the shovels I fixed. We got some bigger snow shovels and 3 spades. And this one here, this handle, I actually hammered it in there, wedged it in there. And it didn't quite fit. And then I tried to get it out again. And whatever I did, I could not get it out. So technically that doesn't count as a proper fix. But I twisted it. I still couldn't get it out. It was wedged in there so much. So it kind of fixed a shelf and I didn't even have to do anything to it. I just pounded it on there. I pulled on it and tried to get it out. It doesn't want to come out. So this one, that's fixed, I guess. You know, if it's stuck in there, it's just as good as bolting it in there. And then these are all bolted. And this one had a piece missing out of it. You see, it just broke off. So I just used a C-clamp or U-clamp on that. And also I hammered this one in, and this one's wedged in there pretty good, and the clamp is on, so I think that's probably fine. And this one got a bolt on it. It's like a small shovel for like digging snow. It's like a snowmobile shovel. So both of these little ones are. There's another one of these that's factory made. And then the pitchforks, there's two of them. I kind of gave up on those. I couldn't really fix either one of them. But we don't really need more than one pitchfork, because I think we have one or two. And my mom's kind of the only one that works in the garden. So hardly ever need more than one. And I think there's probably two already. So, yeah. And then here's all these things I got off of everyone. All the old handles. Yeah. Use a rasp and a chisel to shape some of those. And it works pretty well. And now I have a whole bunch of shovels picked. This weld job, that was pretty satisfying. Now I got like some mild steel flat bar and just kind of hammered it to shape, to the right shape, then clamped it, then welded it. I had to turn the welder down quite a bit so it wouldn't melt through. And now that's strong. I don't think that'll ever break again. Maybe I should have gone higher with the flat bar. I guess I didn't. And then there was a bunch of tar. I just kind of, the wire reel actually ate away the tar, so wire reel got rid of the tar. Almost polished it up, actually. But yeah, the tar's gone. You know, it's good enough to dig. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I welded underneath there, solid bead weld underneath. So that's where it broke, that weld. Look at that, nice clean shop. I sweeped everything, and now there's no dirt or anything lying around. All the tools are put back, and eventually I want to clean out under here. And I found this shovel. That rake was on the desk, but I just kind of forgot to do that. I was focused on other stuff. The pitchforks, well, I guess I already said that, but the pitchforks, we don't really need them. And eventually I want to clean out everything here. And in these pockets, see, like under here, they just get dirt and stuff lost. So I'm going to close these off with boards. I'll leave that one open because that one's being used. But the rest of these, I'm going to close them off after I clean them out. I'll clean them out. Get like a flashlight and a hook, pull stuff out of there. And just a bunch of junk under this one. So, and then just put like a board over that because it's annoying losing a whole bunch of stuff. There's always dirt under there, and it's just a problem. And then I'm going to organize this area too. Like, there's a bunch of old Makita boxes of like old tools that were chucked out a while ago. A bunch of old starters that don't need to be in the shop. They can go to the storage shed. And then all that stuff, clean all that up. In fact, the next project I do should be cleaning this up instead of doing other projects. And then this stuff I need to fix another day. So, yeah. I guess this wraps up fixing shovels. I'm glad I got all those done. This one was interesting fix. But yeah, now we got a whole bunch more shovels.